Hi friends, today we are starting lesson 11, multiplying by one-digit numbers. Today it seems like we're doing a lot of workbook pages together, but it's really only a couple of practice problems. So we will be doing page 231, 234, 235, and 236, but it's really only a couple of practice problems. So, and then on your own, you will be doing page 238. So we're going to start on page 231. So we're going to use what we have learned on how to break apart numbers to multiply and how to multiply one-digit numbers by multiples of 10. So today we're going to find the product, which we know means multiplication, of 3 and 57. Now, there's two ways we can go about solving this, so I'm going to give you option 1 up here, and then option 2 down here. So, option 1, we know multiplication is just repeated addition, so we can go and add 57 3 times, because 57 times 3 is equal to 57 plus 57 plus 57. So if we were to add these up, I'm going to stack them so it gets a little easier for us. But we have 57 plus 57, 7 plus 7 is 14, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 114. So we have these two added. Now we need to add the third 57. So 7 plus 4 is 11, 5 plus 1 is 7, and then 171 is our answer. So we can say 57 times 3 is equal to 171. Now, this is strategy number 1, using repeated addition. Now, strategy number 2 is using base 10 blocks. So it's very similar to the repeated addition, just now we're going to have a picture to help us add. So 57 3 times is going to look like this. We're going to call these our 10 rods, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we need 7 of the ones cubed. I'm just going to do circles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to draw this same picture 3 times. Now this strategy is better if you'd rather have the visuals, and then you can just count them up. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 158, 159, 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, 171. So we got that same exact answer. So using our base 10 blocks, we can also say 57 times 3 is equal to 171. So you could use either strategy. It's up to you which makes more sense to you right now, since we are just starting multiplying by one-digit numbers. But I want you to join the Google Meet right now and tell me what strategy you prefer. Do you prefer repeated addition, or would you rather use the base 10 blocks? Now, obviously, when we get to larger and larger numbers, the base 10 blocks won't be as easy, but if we have small numbers like this, it does work for what we're doing right now. So if you have any questions on this so far, you can pause and join the Google Meet. If not, we are going to move on to page 234. So, again, it's just one problem because number 3 is the problem and number 4 is checking your answer and showing your work. So it's just dealing with one equation. So for this, I'm going to do the problem with repeated addition. And then I'm going to check my work with the base 10 blocks, okay? Just so we get used to both strategies. So, what is the product of 4 and 62? So, 62 times 4 is equal to what? We know that could also look like 62 plus 62 plus 62 plus 62. Now, with that, I'm just going to stack them. So I'm going to have 62 plus 62. We know that that's 4. And then 6 plus 6 is 12. And since there's 4 of them, I know the next 62 and 62 will just equal 124. So I'm just going to add the 124 to the 124, save us some time. So I'm going to have 4 plus 4, which is 8. 2 plus 2, which is 4. 1 plus 1, which is 2. So 62 times 4 is equal to 248. And it's, friends, I got this from doing 62 plus 62, 62 plus 62. So we have the 124 and the 124, and then we just added those together here. So if you're wondering how I got that second 124. But to check our answer, we're going to be using our base 10 blocks. So I'm going to draw 62 using my base 10 blocks 4 times. I'm going to have 6 10 rods. And I'm going to have 2 dots for my ones. And I'm going to draw this same picture 4 times. And if we count them all up, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190. I messed up. Hold on, friends. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 241, 242, 243, 244, 245, 246, 247, 248. So we just checked our work. 62 times 4 is in fact 248. So if you have any questions, friends, this is just getting practice with both strategies. We're using one to do the math and the other one to check our math. But if you have any questions, make sure you are joining the meet and you are asking. And if you're ready to move on, we can move on to page 235. Now, for this one, we are going to talk about a different strategy, kind of combining repeated addition with multiplication. So, for this one, we have to find the product of 3 and 254. So we are looking for 3 times 254, right? So what we can do is break apart our 254. So to break away the hundreds place, we could say 3 times 200 plus 3 times 50 plus 3 times 4. And what this is doing is making our ones place in our larger number 0, so it makes it easier to multiply. So we just broke apart our 254 into place value. And if it helps you to do this and put it into expanded form before using this strategy, this is fine. This is just showing your work, so you're totally okay to do that. So 3 times 200, well, we know 3 times 2 is 6, and then we add 2 zeros, plus 3 times 50, 3 times 5 is 15, and then add a 0, and then plus 3 times 4, which we know is 12. So then we can take these 3 numbers, stack them on top of each other, or you can add them up like this. That's totally fine too. Whatever makes the most sense to you. And then we add them up. So 0 plus 0 plus 2 is 0. 5 plus 1 plus 0 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So our answer is 762. Now, again, a way to check this is to draw a picture, but obviously with this, it gets a little more complicated because we have a number in the hundreds place. So we would have our squares for the hundreds, our lines for our 10 rods, so 250, and then 4 ones, circles or cubes. And we would draw this picture 3 times. And again, this is just, if the picture makes more sense to you. So again, you would count 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So all the 100s, we get the 600 again, just like we got up here. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. So again, we got the 150. See how it's matching up. And then we have 4, 8, 12. And then we would just have to add them together. So you can see we get the same numbers. It's just a matter of if this makes more sense to you using the expanded form to help, or if drawing the picture makes more sense to you. So again, it's whatever strategy makes the most sense to you and whatever is the least confusing. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to go over an example with you on the meet. If not, we're just going to quickly read through page 236, and then you'll be working on your independent page 238. So 236 just basically puts into words what we just did. So they drew the 254 3 times, and they showed how it broke apart into the 600 plus 150 plus 12. And then it also showed us how we did it up here. Just instead of doing it out this way, they stacked it. But if you look, we still have the 600, the 150, and the 12, and I can show you how they did that. So what they did is they kept it stacked. So they said 4 times 3 is 12, and they said 3 times 50 is 150, and then they said 3 times 200 is the 600, and then they added them up this way. But this way can get a little trickier, so that's why I said it was okay if you went and did the expanded form like this before you even started breaking it apart, and that way it made more sense to you. So you could stack it, you could draw the picture, or you could keep it across like we did and just copying the expanded form out. Completely up to you. If you have any questions, please join the meet and ask, and if not, you are working on page 238 and then showing me your work. Bye guys.